G'day legends and welcome back to another video, and in my hands is one of the most epic HO slot cars I've held to date. It's by Bauer, it's the NSU TT 30th year anniversary. We'll unbox it, find out what you get inside this little anniversary box. We'll also take a close look at the car. It is very well detailed, and then we'll take it for a spin around my AFX track. And also I'll show you some footage of a track that Eric from Bauer have sent me, and this thing does perform well on one of their tracks. So first up, let's unbox it and then we'll take a closer look. So let's take a look at the 30th anniversary Bauer collector's box, and to celebrate they are giving you the NSU TT with a booklet. There's a nice color booklet telling you about the history of the company, the current team who's behind these incredible models, and of course some of their other brands and models themselves. Now I do like the color of the box. It does represent the logo, the yellow and red. But let's take a look inside because we do have the little booklet, and it's a nice little gift box. And here is the booklet, which we will go through in detail in another video, but I do love the photo. And yes, that is some Bauer cars on the front. We do have a Capri, a Porsche, and I think that's an Alfa with a beautifully detailed track in the background. Inside, you will find a bit about the team themselves, a small team, but an incredible team. We do have some history on the brand itself and their sub-brands, which Vincent, just to name a few, and here are the others, THATSLOT, Vincent, and we've got Bauer and Racing Hero 70, and they're all under the Before Slot banner. And then down to the back, we've got a couple of pages of beautiful color photos of some of their other models. And I tell you what, these are very well detailed. And talking about models, let's bring the star of the show in. I'll quickly show you how it's situated in the box, and I hope he doesn't fall out because he is sitting there nice and steady. This is how you receive it. Beautiful little display there. And I'll take him out and I'll show you the bottom of the box itself because it has a nice little Bauer imprint down the bottom. Bauer 30, a really nice touch. But let's bring the star in, and this is where it gets quite amazing. Now yes, your eyes aren't deceiving you. That is a HO slot car, epically done. I've never seen so much detail, and we will take a closer look on a slot car. We have a driver, we've got some chrome rims, we've got some chrome around the back, which of course we're going to take a really good look at. We've got some chrome on the front, a little exhaust pipe which blew me away, but look at that, stunning looking car. You could call it a model, it is that well done. Now the Bauer box itself, it's sitting on some pavement, a nice little Bauer logo. If we spin it around to the back, there's a logo again, and this simply opens up and you can pull out the little guy from his box, and he just slides out. Really cool. It's not a blister pack. You can actually enjoy this car. I have taken it off the base. I have been playing with it, but there you go. He sits on his own little base, and there you have it. Magic. All right, it's time to take a close look at the NSU TT because it's going to blow your mind. So are you ready to have your mind blown? This is the NSU TT by Bauer HO scale. It's incredible. When it comes to detail, I've never seen anything like it. Now let's start with the pinstriping down the side of the car itself. Beautifully done, which also follows up around the top of the door. We also have a nice little chrome section on the back that's been painted in. That looks incredible. Chrome little rims, take a look at that. Again, this is HO scale. Now I'll talk about scale in a tick. I'm hoping that the camera keeps up because the front is where some more of the action happens. As you can see, we have a lot of chrome work here on the front. That chrome pinstripe follows around. You're gonna hear me say chrome a lot here. We've also got the badging of the car, a chrome middle grille, chrome headlights, chrome bumper bar, and we have the number plate. Now look at my thumb, it's almost as big as the car. Let's spin around to the driver's side, which is identical to the passenger. Again, it looks amazing. I'm speechless. Looking at this through the camera lens, it's not doing it justice. Chrome strips following around to the back of the boot lid. And let's see if we can zoom in on that and have a look at the tail lights. Now, in one of my news presentations, I did do a spot on how they do their tail lights. These are painted over 2 days. Yes, they do different coats of paint to make it look as real as it can, down to a little decal. I mean, I literally cannot zoom in on that because my camera won't cope. Down to the rear number plate, and there's that little exhaust. Look at that little guy. Yes, we have an exhaust. Now I do have a spare chassis and cockpit to show you, but I just want to try and tip it up and show you from above. And look at that, windscreen wipers, the paint job's immaculate. you can see why these are worth their penny. Let's just push him back. Now we're going to talk scale for a tick while I bring in the cockpit. Now when it comes to scale, it is HO, but they say it's around the 172, 180-ish when it comes to scale, because the NSU TT is a smaller car, and we'll talk about chassis in a tick. Now here we go. I hope this is doing it justice on the camera. There is your cockpit with your driver. Yes, it's a flooded cockpit, meaning that there is no legs. He's cut off at the hips, we'll call that. But look at that. Yes, he's painted. He's holding a steering wheel. And if you want to take it further, you could go to town on painting this. Really well done, nice and flat. Yep, this is just showing you exactly what they're putting inside a HO car. So let's move him out the way. We'll go back into focus and I'll bring the chassis in. Now, before we talk about the chassis, I want to tell you how special this little guy is, because it is little. Now, this is the UL1, and the reason they've produced this UL1, because a car like the NSU TT, as you see in the background, would not fit on a normal size chassis. If they did, they'll have to make a car that's not really, I wouldn't say true to scale, but it'd be a lot bigger than what this NSU TT is in the background. They wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So this has been designed from the ground up. It's a non-mag, of course, got an inline motor. It looks like a long can there, very long skinny can. And we're not running no magnets. So for you non-mag people, this is for you. And let me tell you, it is very tail happy, but look how beautiful this is. It's on a micro scale. Now again, the camera's not doing it justice, but the beauty of this is absolutely stunning. So let's leave him on his side. Now, for those playing at home, they will be making a T-Jet clone, so a UL2, and also an Auto World clone, which is a UL3. So if you do want to try and retrofit some of your other models, they will have some chassis coming out soon. But again, this has been done purely to fit a small scale car. So I can't wait to see what they do in the future. And of course, if you check out their other brands, you'll see that they really try and make them as realistic as I can. Now, I just want to show you this before we go on to a bit of a test drive. Take a look at that exhaust pipe. Now, again, there it is. Look at that. Now, before we go for a test drive, a quick disclaimer. This is running very skinny tires. It is running non-mag. And of course, when it comes to AFX track, and let me take him off, the track is a little bit higher. So ideally, I'll prefer to be running this on a Viper, which I'll give you some footage of this running on a Viper track, which is a custom track, or a Fella's track. If you have any Fella at home, this would be right on there. So there we go. Chassis, we've got cockpit, and we've got the beautiful NSU. I think the time has come to go for a little spin around my track. So let's take the NSU TT for a spin around my AFX track. It's only a small layout, but I put some corners in there to show you how it handles. Now we are running a magless chassis with very skinny tires, and of course it's a very small chassis, but it has got a lot of punch through the corners. I'm taking it easy. We are magless, but as you can see, it's got a lot of performance. Now this would perform a lot better, I believe, on a Fella or a Viper track, because the rails on the AFX track is a little bit too high for these skinny tires, but this thing is a dream to drive. A lot of punch as we get it sideways around the corner. But what I do love about this, Bauer have made this chassis from the ground up to suit the smaller shell of the NSU TT. And of course, I'm hoping we see some more smaller cars in their range to suit this chassis. But there we go, one final lap. Let's bring it on home. And we are finished now. As you can see, I was feathering it around the corners because it is magless. The skinny tires do want to hit the side of the track, of the rails. As you can see, it does want to skip over, but I'm very impressed with how this performs. Let's just go for one more victory lap. See if we can bring it home. Get it sideways. Yeah! And there we go. Bauer's NSU TT. So that's a wrap at my look at the Bauer 30th anniversary NSU TT collector's box. Firstly, congratulations to Bauer. 30 years in this hobby is a great achievement. And after playing with this little guy, there's definitely another 30 in the tank. Now, talking about the car, I'm still blown away that this is a HO slot car with that amount of detail. Now, I'm a die-cast car collector, and I've got some die-cast cars that don't have this detail on it, and they're a lot bigger than what this is. So, hat off to the team. Yes, they are a premium HO brand. In my opinion, the best HO brand when it comes to detail. This looks wicked and well worth the money. And they've gone to the extra length of building a chassis to fit this small car, and hopefully in the future, other small cars. So there's no hangover, there's no rough fitting. It fits perfectly. Now, in regards to my test on the AFX track, yes, the rails are higher on the AFX track, so it's a bit harsh on the small tires when they try and cross around. Of course, it's like a speed bump when you're going around a corner. Fella and Viper track, perfect for this as well, a lot smoother, but I'm pretty impressed with the performance, and of course, non-mag, it was a lot of fun, and I had to really control the power. In regards to power, they did recommend that I use an adjustable power supply. Unfortunately, I couldn't find mine, so I just used the standard AFX power, but again, I had a blast, and are definitely well worth their money. So if you are a fan of the NSU TT, please visit their website before slot. You'll find their other models on there, and there are other brands, including AutoWorld, which is now being distributed through Europe because of these legends. So if you do like AutoWorld, visit before slot. They've got some AutoWorld stuff on there. And of course, they've got some of their chassis that will fit their AutoWorld models. But this little guy is incredible. Thank you very much to the team at Bauer. I'm not paid or sponsored by them. They've been watching the news. Of course, I've been putting some Bauer in there because I believe this brand was going to be great, and they've proved me right. This smile won't go away very soon because this is a slot card. I still can't believe the detail on here smashes some of my die-cast cars. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy on Instagram and YouTube. If this is the kind of content you like, please consider subscribing. It does help the channel. But one more last look at this little legend, and we're done. Ciao.